Hey everyone, this is Serge, and in this tutorial I'm gonna show you how to create an area shadow with Element 3D in After Effects. Element 3D is the plugin from Video Copilot, and I found out a way to create this very time-consuming effect that a 3D program normally has to render, and this is very time-consuming for a 3D program like Cinema or Maya or whatever. And in Element 3D I found a way how to create this in nearly real time, as you can see here. And what I also figured out is with the same technique I can also fake a little bit GI, Global Illumination, where the light bounces from the object to the ground or to other objects and reflect themselves, in this case on the ground. And this only works on ground here in After Effects. This is not an object shadow, it's just a ground shadow. But for most animation cases, this is fairly enough. And I really like this kind of shadow because it looks very beautiful. And the characteristics of this shadow is that of this area shadow, that the closer the object gets to the ground, the sharper, as you can see here, we get. And the more distance we have, the more diffuse or the more blurred they get. And this is very beautiful. And I really like working with a shadow. And you can see them in real life on cloudy days. And they are always exact below the object, like this on this object here. And I also have to mention that the idea itself to create this kind of shadow, I mean a ground shadow, it came from Element 3D, from Andrew Kramer, from Video Copilot, when I was watching the 3D truck composite tutorial, and he was making this shadow with a different layer. But what I figured out is if I extended this effect a little bit to get this to get a different aesthetics, as you can see here. Okay, let's begin. Let's jump into After Effects and let's create a new composition. And go to Layer, Animate, create a new solid. And let's rename this and call this alarm clock. And go to Effect, choose Element from Video Copilot, and go to Scene Setup and choose from the starter pack the alarm clock. Okay, and also we need a ground. Let's go to Primitives and choose Plane. And align the plane to a different group, like group 2. All right. Okay, now we need a camera, of course. Create a new camera. And I want to have a normal camera at this time. Yeah, hit OK. Okay. Let's zoom back a little bit. And you know, what I really like is I come from a 3D background. I'm working with Cinema 4D, and in a 3D program, everything is starting at the 0 position or 0 location. And this is what I'm doing right now. I go to my objects, in this case the particle replicator, these are the objects, and hit 0 in the position location, parameters, sorry. And I'm also do that with the camera. So open up the transform settings and hit 0 in all these fields except the Z position. That should be about, I don't know, 1500, that's okay. This is okay. Now, choose element 3D and or the alarm clock layer here, and lift the alarm clock a little bit. Actually, I will resize it a little bit. Let's type in 3 here. Okay. And now lift it a little bit up until it stands on the ground. Okay, let's go to the scene setup and choose the material from the plane and switch on draw back faces so we can look below this plane, and that will help us. Minus 75 is okay, I think. I will delete the plane anyway. I just need it now to orientation. Okay. Actually, we can delete it now. I just need that plane to get the alarm clock standing up on it. So, yeah, no, we should delete it now. We should delete it now. So delete it. Okay. Now, select both of the layers, the camera and the alarm clock or element 3D layer. Duplicate it. Oops. Duplicate them. And choose layer. Pre-compose. And let's rename this to shadow pass. Okay, now we have a new composition, our shadow pass composition. And what I'm going to do now is I will position my camera below the object. And okay, I open up the transform settings from the camera and type in 0, but not in the y-axis because we need some distance, and 0 here. Now we have everything in 0 except the y-axis. And what we also are going to do now is let's double click the camera, and the focal length should be at 300 because we want to have a kind of parallel view on the object, or a kind of orthographic view with parallel lines here. That looks better later. Okay, now choose the element 3D layer, go to scene setup, and choose a flat color. In this case, I take just the green color here, put it on the object, and change it to black. And now our object is completely black. Switch on the environment so we can see the object. As you can see, it's black. All right, okay, and switch on this button here to have a transparent background. Okay, now let's go to element 3D render settings and switch on fog. And the fog should be white in this case. And also type in 100%. And the starting distance, this is the same value where our camera is. So let's just copy this value and paste it into the starting distance. Because the camera is at this time at about 2,480 units. And this is the distance between the camera and the object. And from the camera, the fog starts at this point, and at this point, there's our object from the view of the camera. Of course, our object is at the 0 position. But anyway, just copy the value here and paste it into the starting distance. And now just play with the range. Okay, let's have the darkest point at the very bottom of the alarm clock. Okay, I think this is okay. Okay, let's go back to our composition and put the shadow pass below the object and make it a 3D layer. Hit F4 on the keyboard and make it a 3D layer. And now we go to the position and of course type in 0 to have it on the 0 location as well. And I think we should rotate on the x-axis to 90 degrees. Yes, just 90 degrees, and scale it a little bit down until it fits. You see what I mean? This is the advantage making or working at the 0 location. It's much easier later or now. Okay, that looks good, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's create a new background here. New solid, and name it background, and put it here at the bottom of these compositions, layers, I'm sorry. And just choose by hitting F4 again, multiply. And now we have an interesting looking shadow. But what are we going to do now? Well, just go to the shadow path, double click on the camera, and activate depth of field. And actually, that's it. We have, of course, adjust the settings. And in this case, I take the same value here and put it onto the focus distance. Now, just type in 1500 on the aperture and crank up the value a little bit from the blur level. And now go back to the composition. And as you can see, that's it. This is how I create the area ground shadow with Element 3D. Just by duplicating the original Element 3D object, making it a flat layer at the end, and putting it under the original Element 3D object. And just turn on depth of field. And it looks really nice. It looks good enough for quite a lot of animations, and you can use this kind of shadow for a ground, or you can use also this shadow for a wall. You just have to reposition the camera to look from the side or from the front position. And yeah, you can do a lot of things with it. And there's one thing you have to think about it, and this is if you want to animate the object. You should first animate the Element 3D object and then make a shadow composition. You can do it now, of course, as well, but you then have to copy the keyframes to the shadow path layer composition. And I mean, it doesn't matter, you can do that. I think it's simply more simple if you first animate the object and then make the shadow path composition. Yeah, what else to say? Yeah, now to the shadow play composition. Okay, as I mentioned at the beginning of this tutorial, I also fake Global Illumination here, and actually I use the same technique to do that. You know, like the shadow. But in this case, where is it? Here. In this case, I just left the colors as they are and put the layer just like a shadow beneath the object. And I don't use depth of field here. I just blurred the layer, the fast blur, and did some adjustments with hue and saturation. And I choose color from the blend menu here. This is, I think, at this moment the best way for me to fake this global illumination effect. And of course we can reduce the colors a little bit. And I think it's really nice. I mean, for a simple effect, you know, it's just a fake global illumination. It is enough. And it has its own aesthetics. And if I will do some more tests, I think I will get quite close to a 3D rendered GI situation. And but for now it's okay. I just wanted to show you and to share this information with you guys. And Yeah, I think that's it for now. I will provide the whole After Effects file with this shadow player object here and the alarm clock and also the text, the ground shadow composition text here for download. The download link is just below this movie here, and yeah, just explore a little bit my settings, and when you can come up with your own ideas and play around a little bit. Okay, that's it for now. Have fun. Bye.